Alright, camera's on. Let's make this roll. Alright, so again, this one goes out to City of Cortland. Big time City of Cortland. Mayor Brian Tobin. 5th term mayor. Nobody else has come close to running that distinction other than Ron Walsh and Morris Noss. They both served for 4 terms each. Out of 18,713 residents in the City of Cortland, based on the 2018 census, Mr. Tobin, I have to ask you, are you seriously considering about your future? Because I have to wonder about how you plan on making this work. You're bothering me, sir. And I'm going to tell you, the reason why you're bothering me. I told you Black Lives Matter logo needed to be removed, and you refused to do it. I know Blue Lives Matters much more than Black Lives, because in City of Cortland we've never had a police shooting or a cop ever killed a black person for no reason at all. Actually, I don't think it's even on record that they've ever done it at all. So that's bothering me. But what's really bothering me, and where I'm going to play with this one, is with your housing thing. You said yourself that we're going to put a moratorium in, so you can't be evicted if you can't pay your rent. Alright, that's all fine and dandy. I understand. No, I don't understand. I don't understand. Because you got these houses that are owned by landlords. They're not people that are living in the houses, they're landlords. They bought the house as a rental property, and that rental property's whole purpose is to generate something for an income. Something. It doesn't mean it's got to be all told income, but something for an income. They have to get something for an income. So when you buy a house that you have no intentions of living in, first thing you got to do, if it's going to be a rental property, is you got to go in and you got to renovate the property, right? I mean, that's just a given. So you got a lot of money out as a person buying the house. You put all this money into it to make it nice and make it so your next tenant has got a nice place to move into. I'm not saying everybody does that, and I'm sorry that everybody doesn't do that, because everybody should. Because the quality of your tenant is based on the quality of the household you're moving them into. If you move them into a dump, they're going to treat it like crap, and it's always going to be a dump. Look at South Ave. It's always been that way. But you said, sir, that you can put in a moratorium where if you can't afford to pay your rent, you don't need to pay your rent, and you cannot be evicted. But what's that do to the person that actually owns the property? Now, I'm not saying every property is owned by a big corporation. Some of them are. We got Syracuse Corporation down here renovating all of South Ave and North Main Street, or South Main Street. So you got these guys in here that, yeah, it's a big corporation. They can afford to play. They don't give a shit. If they lose money, they lose money. It's just a tax write-off. But City of Cortland ain't going to get the taxes from it because it is a write-off. But sir, you need to understand, these people that own these properties in Cortland, specifically City of Cortland, who are relying on that rent coming in to pay land taxes, city taxes, and mortgage payments. And you're telling the people that are living in these houses, well, you know, you don't have to worry about getting thrown out because you're not paying your share. Did you ever take into consideration what it's doing to the person that actually bought that property, renovated that property to be the best it can be, or sometimes not? Have you ever taken into consideration what that person is going through? Have you ever? It's not always just one person. Sometimes it's families. These guys, they don't buy these to be a losing proposition. They buy them because they see a future. And by you telling the tenants that live within that future zone that they don't need to pay rent, then you just took that future away from them. Now, sir, I understand. You're a 5th term. I do. I understand that a lot. I also understand that I no longer live in the city of Cortland, and if I did, you would not be getting a 6th term. I'd be running against you. But here's the thing I want to share with you, and I'm going to share this with everybody. And everybody on Facebook and YouTube or whatever, if you know people that live within the city of Cortland and the county of Cortland and the state of New York, do me a favor and share this. I need this to go out. If you support the police, not Black Lives Matter. I give two craps about Black Lives Matter. Everybody knows my view on that. But if you support our City of Cortland Police Department, and also our Sheriff's Department, which backs up the City Police Department an awful lot in all altercations within city limits, it's pretty much a given, then I want you to put this out and share it with everybody. If you have a curb in front of your house and you support our police department, myself, you can get a hold of me by CROWNPC. That's Crown PC, better known as Crown City Computers. I used to run that shop and I don't anymore, but that's still my email. CROWNPC@yahoo.com. I will buy the paint to paint your curb. If for any reason you feel unsafe or just aren't available to go out and paint your curb blue, to show your support for the police, I will hire people to come in and paint your curb. Swear to God, I will pay to do this. So everybody that knows anybody in City of Cortland, Cortland County, New York State, if you know anybody, I don't care if they're handicapped, they don't even need to be handicapped. They can stand out there and just watch them do it. I don't care. I will pay somebody to go in and paint that curb. And I will pay for the paint. Paint's cheap, curbs aren't big. I could probably do 14 per gallon. That's $30 a gallon, $2 a curb, or $2 a property, I guess you could look at it as. And labor, I'm not worried about labor. I disagree with Mr. Tobin. I've always disagreed with Mr. Tobin. When he put Black Lives Matter on our Main Street, Cortland, and actually tried to fight Blue Lives Matter being put on City Street of Cortland, or fights the thin blue line, then I'm all for it. I'm going to go the opposite direction, say I'll do it. Mr. Tobin, sir, please understand, I don't live in City of Cortland. I can't run against you. I really wish I could. But I'm not the only one that wants to. I can guarantee you that. So that's my rap for today. I will pay for the paint. I will pay for the labor to have that paint applied to them curbs. If you live in City of Cortland and you want a blue curb and you just don't dare do it for whatever reason, I've got safety vests. I've got people that are willing to go paint the curb, and I don't care. And I will pay for the paint. I will pay for the paint. It will cost you nothing to put that blue curb in front of your house. If you have a curb, we will paint it blue. And we will prove to Mr. Tobin that Blue Lives Matter 100% more than Black Lives Matter ever thought they could, because Black Lives Matter doesn't stand for the black communities. If it did, it would be not fighting people, it would be fighting corporations and things that just have everything to do with why black people are being suppressed. It has nothing to do with the people in our city, it has nothing to do with people in our county. If you want it, CROWNPC@yahoo.com. Hit me up with an email. I will send my painters over there and they will paint your curb. If you want to do it yourself, hit me up by email. Tell me you just want to paint. I'll send the paint over. It's as easy as that. We can't keep continuing this BS. He wants to make it look like he's doing all great, and I'm sorry, but Mr. Tobin is not your friend. Mr. Tobin, he may be your mayor, but he's not your friend. If he is your friend and you see this, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But he's not my friend. And he's lucky I don't live in City of Cortland. Because if I did, I'd be running against him. That's my rap for today. Have a good day.